everybody. Fix Everything back with you, trying to fix yet another something. This is a Mazda CX-9, 2010 is the year, and the problem today is when you put your car in reverse, this particular model has a rear view camera, and there's a small square that appears right there in the rear view mirror on the left side. So look what happens when I drop this into reverse. You get a blue screen, and it just goes out. The blue screen of death, much like Windows 95. This has to do more with the camera in the back of the vehicle than any kind of wiring inside the dash. So let's take a look at how that can be remedied. So here's the back of the vehicle, right at the bumper, and to the left of the license plate you'll see the camera right tucked under there. And we're going to have to get inside of this bezel right here in order to get to it. So what we're going to have to do is lift the hatch, and we're going to have to take this back panel off the back of the hatch to get to the wiring in the camera. I suspect that after 100 car washes, water has gotten into the circuitry and needs to be dried out. I know that because once in a great while, when it finally dries out, I do get a picture on that rear view mirror. So let's open that up and see what we can see. Okay, so the first thing you do is you're going to take this panel off first, the one at the very top of the door, and then you're going to proceed and do the right side panel and the left side panel, and they look just like this, and they go right in here. I don't know if you can see that. Actually, I got that upside down, so right there. So the top one up here, and then this side, and then the other side. They pop out. So if you look at the back of these, they have like little metal clips on each one. Just be careful when you're prying it. Try to pry it where you feel the most tension back there. Otherwise, you're just going to tear something. So they just basically pop into those slots. Pop, 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 pop. No screws. Although each one of these has one of those wacky, I don't know what they call them. They're like, I don't know, I broke one, but it's still going to work. It's like a fastener, plastic one. And there's one that went right there, and there's one that went right there. So there's one on each side. So let's pop those out carefully. Those are very inexpensive. You can go to any auto parts store and buy a bag of them for like $10 or something like that. So, and how you get these out is you put your screwdriver right in that little cavity up here, and then you just pop that button out like you see right there. So it's popped out. So then you get your screwdriver behind it and take the whole thing out. So not that hard, just be careful, and it will come right out. You just grab it with your finger and just pull it right out of the hole. So top, center, left or right, doesn't matter which one you do first, and then you're going to attack the back panel here. And then you just start pulling. So there's two panels, one here and one over there, and that's access to the lighting that's in the back tail lights. So you can wrap your hand around here, the plastic part, and just start pulling it away from the frame. Again, try to find where the most tension is when you're pulling. You don't want to break this, although it looks pretty tough. So you're going to go all the way around the perimeter. That might pose a problem there, that handle. I don't know. We'll get to that. And then we're just going to keep going all the way around until it pops out. You're going to have to take this light out of here, the courtesy light. Just make sure that you got it just hanging there. You're going to feed it through there once you take the panel out so it doesn't rip off. I got the screwdriver behind this, and you just basically are going to pull it. I had it there. You're just going to pop that. This whole thing is going to come straight out. So just get your screwdriver, something that's non-marring back there. Okay, just like that. Oh, everything's plastic. Amazing. Okay, here's the inside of the back trim panel. There's all these yellow fastener grommets. So once you take the bottom part out, get your arm up in here and just tap these until they pop out. I didn't break a single thing, which is amazing, especially it's 35 degrees outside. So I definitely recommend doing this in warmer weather, but if you can't, just be very careful. And there's the back hatch. So when you're taking that plastic off, make sure you push up, because the top lip up here where the wiper motor is has a little lip on it up here, that metal seam right there. That's where the top of the plastic fastens in. So you got to kind of push it up towards the window when you're popping it out. That'll make it easier. And you can see all the little grommet holes. There's one there, there's one there, there's one on the bottom, there's one on the bottom, one on the bottom, one on the bottom. So just make your way around very carefully. And we're finally back here where we can take a peek to see where this camera is. And I have no idea. So doing this for the first time, first thing to check before you do anything else, this connector, that is the camera. You could probably see is that black plug with the rubber around it back there. And this is the camera connector. So give this a good jiggle, make sure it's clean and not corroded, because you might be going through all this for nothing if it's just a contact problem. So just make sure you give that a good tug, make sure the terminals are clean, and then try it before you go any further. So from here to the front of the car, you can actually see the rear view mirror from here. So I'm just going to jiggle this wire around a little bit, and it's in reverse and the keys are on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not the wiring, because this thing takes lots of car washes. I'm sure some water got into the camera housing somewhere, so I'm just going to have to keep going forward here. But just check the wiring. It might be frayed. You never know. Move on to taking the camera off. And the way we're going to be able to do that, it looks like, is there is a there is a nut right there. And there's a nut under there. And that's going to take the back bezel where the Mazda logo is. It's a 10mm nut. One on each side. I don't know how I'm going to get in there, but I'm going to get in there. So I got the first one gone, and that bezel is starting to move back there. So one more. And unbelievably, you can actually get a 10mm wrench back there. So I have loosened it. So I'm going to take it off now, and we'll take a look at the camera. So after further review, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts that you have to take off. Sorry, so these two were sort of hiding there. I'm pulling, going, hey, what's going on? But there's 2 more. So there's 4 in total that you have to take off. Just be careful you don't drop them down in here. And while you're down in here, just inspect. It looks nice and clean. There's not a speck of rust back there. You know, you might want to lubricate your latches and things while you're in here. Got all 4 nuts off. So now, see that little white nipple thing sticking out of there? It's a squeezy connector. You're going to squeeze that, and that's going to pop, I think, the Mazda emblem off, so you don't tear it off when you remove this bezel. And that's not all. There's another set right there. There's a white one, and there's another one hiding right up in there. You want to pop those off. Those are also fasteners for that back bezel. And the mystery deepens. Okay, so now we've got this out, and it comes away from here just like that. Just be really careful. If you look back here, let's pull this all the way out. There's not much room. They don't give you a whole lot of space back here, but let me see if I can get that. Okay, so there you go. There's the camera. Ooh, so water and all kinds of crap just pours through this seam up here, so it doesn't surprise me that it looks like that. So I'm going to take those 2 larger Phillips head screws off of there, and I'm going to remove the camera and see if I can't find out what's going on. So after some attempts there, those rusted screws aren't moving. So these 2 silver screws, though, are the ones that actually remove the camera. So you can see it moving there. And I'm thinking you don't even need to remove those, because if you look closely on the side of that black harness there, there's a little clip. I'm going to pop that and see if I can just pull this plug right off the camera. Then I'll inspect the pins and to see if there's any moisture in there. And after a little tugging, it finally came off. So if you look on the side, again, there's that little connector, I don't know, it's like a lock. Just pry it up with a small screwdriver, and this will pop right out of the camera. Now, the disappointing thing is, I don't know if you can see that in there, but some of the pins are gone. And the reason is they're gone inside the female coupler there. They pulled right out of the camera. I really hope this helped. While you're here, this was a problem. this latch to open the hatch back here was sticking. So I added some WD-40 in there. I'll also add some white lithium grease, but that's moving a lot better now. So that's the end of the video. I really hope this helped in some way. I wish it was a better outcome, but this is how to remove the camera, rear camera, from a 2010 Mazda CX-9. The 2009s, 8s, 7s, they probably come off the same way, maybe the 11s or 12s. I know at some point they probably started to change some things, but that should get you through. There's the model number, and I'm sure it's going to cost 1 arm and 2 legs. Anyway, hope this helped. Thanks for tuning in to Fix Everything. Have a great day.